Today I have an Akai GX365D that the owner wants the record bias checked because there's some distortion when you go over 0 dB. Before I get started on this today's video, I just wanted to show you guys if the battery in your voltmeter is a little low, especially Fluke's, you will get an inaccurate reading. Here's a 3 volt lithium button cell. This cell is actually dead, but not according to the meter. It's not. It's showing 6.9 volts. Same with this other one here, 6.7. As soon as the low battery indicator comes on your meter, if you've got one, the battery needs to be replaced. A pack of batteries here. These ones might not be any good. Let's see if this one, that one there, that one there, that one there. The tongue test says that one's good. This one here is dead. You see? And these batteries are actually dead. The one that just came out of this is measuring 3.9 volts. And this other one that was just sitting on my bench, it's dead as well. So, yeah, as soon as the light comes on, that's a pretty good indication that your meter needs a new battery. These Fluke meters actually are not, they're not that good on batteries. They will kill the battery. They're only good for about 100 hours or so of actual use. I know I had a Beckman before that the battery would last forever, but these ones here are a little more power hungry. So you do go through a few more batteries on these Fluke, but they are good meters. But again, as soon as that light comes on, it's time to change it. Otherwise, you'll be getting false readings, and they generally do read high, not low. And of course, the reason that they read high is because the voltages are compared to a reference. That is, a reference voltage is taken off the battery, and everything's compared to that reference voltage. And once the battery drops below the reference voltage, everything that you measure will be higher compared to that reference, and your readings will be incorrect. That's why they always read high, not low. And now on to today's project. This is an Akai GX365D, and the owner of this unit is concerned that the bias is not correct because they hear distortion when they go into the red. If you don't go into the red, you don't hear distortion. So we're going to check the bias. So I got to take this thing all apart to get at the bias board, which is part of the amp board that's in the bottom here. Now, for those of you with a good memory, you'll remember that I had this unit before. This is the one that had the problem with the solenoid, with the switch that was out of adjustment. It was causing the solenoid to stick on, and that was causing the solenoid to overheat. That problem was resolved. The owner of this unit did all the caps himself on it. And the only thing I repaired on this was the solenoid part on it. But they're saying it's not recording correctly. So I'm going to take a look and see whether we can improve the signal level. We'll check it for calibration and see how far it is off. Well, let's just play back a recording that I made on this before any adjustments. So I made a recording on this machine off camera, and we'll just see how this sounds. I'll play a little snippet from stuff on here. Then we're going to wind the tape to an unrecorded section and perform the bias adjustments. the bias adjustments are on the bias board down here, which is what's the board number on this one? It's the RDA 513 bias oscillator board. It's the one on the, looking from the front on the left side. Your bias board here, you've got the record and play boards up top here. Just two adjustments on here. What we're going to do is we're going to set our audio oscillator for both 1 kilohertz and 15 kilohertz, or sorry, 1 kilohertz and 10 kilohertz, and we're going to adjust the levels so that our levels on playback are equivalent. So right now, if we check it, we'll find that on if I go to 10 kilohertz, the signal is actually much hotter than it is at 1 kilohertz because the bias is a little bit low. So if I go to record, I turn on my bias signal. Okay, this is recording a 1 kilohertz tone. I have set them to 0 on source. So on, as you can see, this is the left adjustment. I just want to get them at around 0. And I'm going to go to 10 kilohertz. And we're going to see how much hotter it is. It's going to probably be a lot higher because the bias is too high. As you can see, are really hot here. So we're just going to adjust the bias level. And incidentally, we make the adjustments at 3 3/4 IPS, not 7.5. These controls look like they need to be cleaned. Let's just give them a shot of cleaner. Okay, we're going to put the output on the scope and look at the voltage coming out and not look at the meters here because we need to measure this on a measurement device. I'm going to use my scope. We're going to measure the playback voltage and make sure that everything's balanced. Oh, incidentally, that slight phase shift there is actually a slight discrepancy in the azimuth, probably of the playback head. But this is one of these machines that the head moves to switch between forward and reverse. They are paint sealed, so I don't want to play around with them. There we go. That's actually the record head that was out, slightly out. The playback head is paint sealed, so I don't want to touch that, but the record head is not, so just to tweak slightly, I'll show you where I adjust it to get the phase good. So the record head azimuth is right here. Adjustment right there, it's a screw right there for that's the record head azimuth. As you can see on here, the playback head is paint sealed. So I don't want to touch that one because that one is still set at the factory. But there's no paint seal on the record. So the record head was slightly off, just slightly. It's looking a lot better now if we look at the overlay on the scope. So now we're looking at the levels at 3 kilohertz. We're going to go up to, so here's 10 kilohertz. We're at 7.5 IPS now. Just going to rewind my tape momentarily. Our levels are looking pretty darn good. Very balanced. Look at my 2 levels here. This is the right channel, and the left channel is this one. Up to 7 or 15 IPS. I have to rewind my tape here because I'm running out of tape, so I'll just rewind it back to the beginning. That's 10 kilohertz. Okay, after adjusting, I've been just doing some careful listening with headphones. I can only play this, I'm still in record mode here. I can only play this for a few seconds because obviously I get copyright, but here's playback in, I'll do a comparison. Here's source, and there's playback. Once again, we'll listen to source and playback. Sounding damn good. I'm doing careful listening with headphones, so I can play it back at relatively loud levels, and I've got a pretty good ear for music. Well, I'm happy with this unit. I'm going to put it back together now and send this one on its way. Thanks for watching.